Good day, everybody. This is Michael Levitas from JurisQ.com, and we're welcoming a new attorney, a divorce attorney, Alla Kurolapnik. Alla, welcome to our podcast.
Good morning, Michael. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Alla. And first, I want to start off by introducing you to our audience, who you are, what you do. So let's start off with the basics. Can you tell us, please, why you became an attorney and why particularly in this field, in divorce field, which is not easy. You deal with people, with emotions, sometimes there's drama. Why do it?
Right. So for me, it was really quite an easy transition. You know, I started my legal career as a prosecutor for the law department. I was a special prosecutor for the Administration for Children's Services.
Wow.
So I prosecuted parents for abuse and neglect of children, which was an incredibly sensitive area. In that field, I got to meet some fantastic attorneys and judges who now actually sit on the matrimonial bench, who I appear in front of quite frequently.
That's good.
And, you know, the transition came easy because part of the issues we dealt with as an ACS prosecutor was custody. And so custody as part of matrimonial and family law, whenever you're dealing with divorces, came as an overflow. And I just felt it was a natural thing to kind of move into. And I've been practicing matrimonial and family law for nearly 17 years now.
Wow, so you've seen it all. I mean, this is why I love having attorneys on with such experience and focus. This is your laser focus. This is all you do, correct? Family law, divorce law.
This is my niche. I don't practice personal injury. I don't practice medical malpractice. This is what I do.
Perfect.
So
this is what I like.
I know most of the judges. I know most of the attorneys. You know, that in my experience that I've come across. And I pretty much, you know, there are some times that I'm still surprised by what people do in the worst parts of their times.
Yeah.
But that happens very rarely. For the most part, I really have seen it all.
Yeah, but I've also seen a lot of divorce attorneys. I mean, let's put it this way. There are a lot of you guys that practice. This is a very popular area.
I think what sets me apart from a lot of these people is I really, besides for having a niche and really focusing in on only this and having a good relationship with, you know, my colleagues and the judges, you know, I'm also a trained mediator. The big part of my practice, and I have a boutique practice, which I started in 2013, and initially was a litigation practice. And in 2018, I started to transition into divorce and family law mediation.
Let's explain what is boutique practice. It doesn't mean that you sell Hermes bags.
Wouldn't that be nice, Michael?
Yes, but in law terms, it means something else. What is a boutique firm?
So a boutique practice is really a niche practice that focuses on a small area of law and gives the practitioners in that practice the ability to really hone in and devote their time to their clients, so that we don't skip a beat. So we cover every area. We try to cover every area. And, you know, it's sometimes very comforting, you know, most of the time, really, it's very comforting because divorce is not a good thing, you know, to be going through in your life. It's painful. It's upsetting, especially when there are children involved. I mean, you know, nobody comes through my doors when they're happily married and life is great. They come to me when, you know, things are falling apart in the very personal way in their lives.
And that's why they need somebody like you to hold their hand through the process. They need a professional they can trust and give them advice, not just on legal matters, but sometimes like practical matters, how to talk to your kids, how to talk to your...
The biggest part of my practice, Michael, deals with trying to explain to my clients beyond the emotional state that they're in when they're making these decisions, is that there's a practical aspect to it. And these are the decisions that they're going to have to live with for a long time if they have children. There's, you know, bar and bat mitzvahs in their lives. There's weddings, there's grandchildren. There's a lot ahead of them when they have kids.
I spoke to somebody the other day. They had the child per custody that particular day. However, it's child's birthday, and the ex wanted to take the child away and do a separate birthday party, but it was her day, so it became very
It's a
messy. So you do
right.
this
It's a
every day.
very, it can be very messy.
Yeah.
You know, look, my best advice to anybody that comes in through my door is to always consider a more organic way of what I call uncoupling, right? Because marriage is very organic, unless you're in certain communities where you know, there are arranged marriages, right? But for the most part, you're marrying someone because you love them, because it feels right, because
Right.
it's the good thing to do, right? Because
Okay.
you want to spend the rest of your life with that individual. Likewise, divorce, as bitter as it can be and as upsetting it can be, right? If we make practical decisions during a divorce and understand that there's some organic process to uncoupling, that we're going to be, these two individuals are going to be tied to each other for a significant amount of time. If there's no children, it's much easier.
If you
But
want or
there's,
not,
you
yeah.
know,
If
a
you have kids,
period.
you're going to deal with each other for a long time.
That's right. And if there's no kids, there's still a significant period where you may be, you know, dividing your assets,
Right.
figuring out business assets,
Right.
you know, real estate, a lot of stuff.
Sure.
So you're tied to one another for a period of time. And, you know, the practical and logical thing to do is to try to make the process flow as organically as possible, which sometimes, most of the time, in fact, a lot of divorced couples can't seem to get to.
Yeah, and that is done a lot of times through mediation. So we're going to have a separate session on this. What is mediation that you basically focus on, specialize on, instead of going into full-blown litigation where there is tons of money spent on attorneys. So briefly, let's just talk about mediation.
So
why do you preach mediation as opposed to going to full-blown litigation?
Listen, I actually, litigation is it can be a lot of fun for attorneys, right? But it's very, you know, it's time consuming, it's energy draining, and it's super costly for these litigants. Okay. Practitioners like myself aren't cheap, because you know, I've been playing this game for a very long time. I have the expertise, and when you want to hire that costs money. So
yeah, I see the diplomas behind you. That costs money.
right.
That's an investment that you made to get your license and education.
That's right. But beyond that, you know, it's the expertise that I can give to my clients in the financial areas, in the custody areas, and in the litigation areas that gets me the clientele. But again, my view has always been that there has to be a more organic way to do this. And mediation is really, it's a process that is self-determining. It allows you and your spouse to make the decisions for your family instead of having a stranger in a black robe make those decisions for you.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Very good.
it creates a space for the parties to talk. It creates a space for the parties to understand where the requests or issues are coming from. And it's the mediator's job to create that space and to allow the parties to mutually come to a determinative decision. There's various types of mediations, which, you know, I'm not going to go into today.
Yeah, we should make a separate session just on that, because that really sets you apart. And like you said, legal fees are a big part of this equation of getting a divorce.
And mental health.
Exactly.
Both.
Yeah.
Mental health
and financial health and mental health. So we'll definitely get into that. So please follow our sessions with Alla Kurolapnik. We're going to talk about not just mediation, also about prenuptial, about child support, child custody, financial aspects of getting divorced, such as division of property, all that. So please follow us. Every week we're going to put out, hopefully, a new video that is going to be practical for you to follow. It's going to be in simple terms. You don't have to have a law degree to understand it. Please like our pages on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Visit our websites, ours and JurisQ.com. We're going to have ours information on the bottom of the screen, phone number, and the website. So if you have any questions that are specific to your situation, don't hesitate to call. Right now, we're going to talk about general things. If you have a specific issue, you have to talk to an attorney. such as Alla Kurolapnik. And Alla, thank you for your time. We're going to see you very soon with many more questions. You bet.
Thank you, Michael. Thank
Thank
you.
you. See you soon.